Now, Harry Cobbold and Katie Davies-Gregory are in the studio with me now. They're students at Plymouth College who have produced 2 books now called RailTrails, From Track to Trail. One of them is based on Plymouth and South East Cornwall, and another one on Truro in Cornwall, and another one on the way, I think, which they'll tell us about shortly, which features walks you can do from stations in the Exeter area. We'll hear about that in a moment. But let's first, Harry and Katie, just talk to you about the whole sort of idea of young enterprise. Thanks for coming in. So tell me how you came up with this idea, Harry, for the book.
Yeah, well, basically, we took part in the Young Enterprise competition back in September of last year, and we were coming up with loads of ideas, and we eventually arrived at this RailTrails idea.
Now, is this because you or someone in the group was, a train fanatic, or who enjoyed walking, or who had, done some of these walks in the past, or what?
Well, we had a couple of 10 Tours participants in the team, so walking was always going to be a key part of what we did. But we were struggling for a lot of ideas at the beginning, and we sort of looked at news articles and stuff and found that the rural branch lines in Devon and Cornwall are flourishing, really, really doing well, and we kind of wanted to do something to celebrate that. We're working with First Great Western, and it's really taken off.
Now, what you've done is you've produced the book, and it's pretty impressive it is too. But going from that idea to producing the book is what Young Enterprise is all about. So, Katie, what was the first thing you had to do?
Well, first of all, we had to raise the capital to be able to go on the walks to actually start producing the book. So we did that through selling shares and things like that. And who did you sell them to? Was this to teachers, students, parents?
Yep.
And then we had a Christmas trade fair where we sold seasonal products to help us get more money to produce this, but also to give us the time that we needed, because the first book took us about 4 months to produce.
A long time,
and we did the second one in about a week.
Yeah.
So you've done? There are walks here, by the way, in the Tamar Valley. There are walks at Gunny's Lake, Calstock. All along the Tamar Valley line, there are walks along the Loo Branch line, Bodmin. Did you do all of these walks, the two of you?
Yeah.
Not us. We've got a team of 6 of us.
Oh, delegation.
Yeah.
Yes. Delegation is key.
Yes.
But yeah, we spent sort of weekends and holidays, going out there, getting out with a pen and paper and writing down the walk directions, finding local pubs to put in as part of the spread on which we've written the walks.
So you wrote all the walks, and then it was a question, presumably, of having the whole thing put together with the maps. Did you draw all the maps as well?
We drew them, and then Harry worked his magic with his computer program and made them all pretty and colourful.
Excellent. And then what about finding a publisher?
Harry did it.
That was, we didn't necessarily do a publisher. We've kind of published it ourselves. We used Shred, who are our printers. They printed the book for us, but as far as sort of getting it out there is concerned, we're the ones who are putting it into shops.
You're doing that. It's got some really nice pictures in it and really nice maps in it. So it's not it's not a sort of cheap paper job. It's a really nice booklet. So where can people get it?
We're in both Waterstones in town, and
was it easy to persuade people like Waterstones to take this sort of thing?
Waterstones were surprisingly encouraging. They are doing a thing at the moment, promoting sort of rail travel, and it just fitted in brilliantly. If you go into one of the Plymouth Waterstones, you'll see it quite prominently. It's really out there.
And is it making any money? Because that's what Young Enterprise is all about. It's making money.
We've sold out our first 2,000 editions of the Plymouth book. We've gone back and printed more. Obviously, we've got a second edition on the way. It's really great because this money's going back into rural communities.
Okay, well, we'll talk a bit more about what that is and how that's happening. So this is a bit of Young Enterprise. It's a bit of coming up with an idea. It's raising the capital. It's producing the product. It's then selling it. So what have you learnt, Katie, from doing this?
Well, a lot about working as a team, because there was about 30 of us when we started, and slowly people dwindled out, and it was getting people motivated. And it's really, I've really enjoyed putting what we've learned in lessons into practice in a real business situation.
And presumably this is just one of the examples of things that your class, if you like, at Plymouth College have done. Other people have done other things. This was just sort of one example. In terms of what's in here, we've got a series of how many walks? Looks like there must be a dozen walks in here, aren't
9.
there? There are nine
walks in
nine
addition.
different walks. Yeah. So the idea is what, Harry? How does it work?
Well, basically, the book's got, as you said, 9 walks. 3 on each branch line, or those 4 for the Tamar Valley line in this edition. Basically, we've tried to go and cover, a lot across Devon and Cornwall, so it makes it accessible for lots of families.
Yeah.
You can hop on the train in Plymouth, and takes you out to, as you said, Gunners Lake, Loo, all these really scenic areas that maybe aren't, places that we'd visit on a day-to-day basis. And we've put together some directions, a map, and a recommendation for a local pub or attraction.
And each one of the walks is similar and has all those sort of components on it. And also, you've got some symbols on here which tell you what sort of walk it is in terms of whether you can take your dog, whether you can find somewhere to eat, whether it's child-friendly. What about people with disabilities?
We have tried to make some with wheelchair access. It's quite hard because a lot of them are tracks, so there's routes and things, and we're not... Obviously, we didn't take someone, so we don't know the negotiations and how you'd work it. But we tried to make some of them. I think some of them in here have the just wheelchair access symbols. So we've tried to encompass everyone, but it's quite hard when we found problems when we actually went out on the walk. Sometimes there was a fallen tree that we had to then reroute the map. So.
And also on here, some of them are for cycling as well, which is quite good. I said one of them's got a cycle on it. That's the one at Gunners Lake. It's suitable for cycling as well. Good. Okay. Well, that's brilliant. And there's one for Truro, which is for the Cornish branch lines.
Yep.
And you're working on one about Exeter. We'll talk about that in just a moment after we've heard from Duffy on BBC Radio Devon. Now, we're going to be talking after 2:30 to Barry Hopper. Now, he is going on a walk up Kilimanjaro to raise money for St Luke's Hospice. But in the studio with me now, we've got Harry and Katie from Plymouth College, who have written a book. In fact, they've written 3 books about some slightly less strenuous walks here in Devon and in Cornwall. So, Katie, how did you choose these walks? Because we've got 9 in this book, which is the Plymouth and South East Cornwall edition. And there are 9 Truro ones as well.
We looked at some ordnance survey maps and decided on a few routes, and then we did some of them and found that they had to meet a certain criteria, that you could take a dog, they were family friendly, there was a playground and a picnic area, and some didn't have all the available things there.
Yeah.
So we decided that we'd change them, and we looked at the branch lines and picked off some, did them and was successful, and we had a sheet and it had criteria on it, and you ticked off, and if it made more than 4 or 3, then we allowed it to go into the book.
And then you chose that one, and then Harry got to work drawing the map, doing his magic. So you've chosen, as I say, 9 in this one. The Truro one's also got 9 in, has it? Yeah, that's got 9 as well. And what sort of area does that cover?
Goes out to Falmouth, St Ives. That's actually probably my favourite edition of the book, because it's seaside walks,
right?
Or a lot of them are. So that was really great fun writing them, and those are the most picturesque walks we've done.
And the Exeter edition is finished, or not
no?
Quite?
It's very early in development at the moment.
Right. Okay. So what stage have you got with that then?
At the moment, we're still researching the walks, so looking at which ones we think might be suitable. So we're looking at the Tarka line, which is the name of the branch line in Exeter.
Mm-hmm. That's the one that goes to Barnstable, and then there's the one to Exmouth as well, which is another possibility, no doubt. So there'll be a book out. When do you expect to get that one out then?
I'd expect it to be out within a few months.
Yeah. Okay.
It takes quite a lot to put
together.
So
the first one took. How long did you say the first one took you to produce?
4 months.
4 or 5 months.
And these are now you're churning them out to a week or something.
Not quite.
No, not quite.
No.
But, we're getting a lot better, a lot quicker at producing them, for sure.
Yeah, excellent, jolly good. And these obviously, as you say, are available in all good booksellers locally. Why did the two of you do this? I mean, what it's all we were saying, it's to make money, it's young enterprise and all the rest of it. But I mean, it's why this? Is this something you've enjoyed doing, and do you enjoy these sort of walks with friends and family?
Well, we really enjoyed business, so we took it forward, and then this was our product, so we're now really passionate about it.
Yeah.
But is it something that you enjoy doing? I mean, getting my kids on a walk it's just a non-starter.
Yeah, no, we've really enjoyed walking the books. Maybe some of us were surprised by how much we enjoyed actually getting out there and seeing things that are on our doorstep, but we'd never actually been and done.
Yeah.
So by the process of having to go out and walk these, we've really enjoyed finding like little gems, that are out there.
We also did it as groups, so I think that helped because we were a big group of friends. So it was.
Yeah. And did the country pub at the end of the walk had nothing to do with it, presumably? That was
definitely
entirely incidental.
I mean, of course we had to test them.
Of course you did, yes, thoroughly, no doubt. Yes. Which is why presumably the way back is somewhat more circuitous than the way there. What I'm going to ask you in a minute, I'll give you time to think about this one, as to what little gem you discovered on. Tell me about one thing you discovered that sort of really surprised you about Devon or Cornwall when you were out walking, because you said just now that you discovered things you didn't know were there. You'd maybe discovered qualities about yourself that you didn't know about. But I mean, what was it that you noticed on one? Give me one thing on one walk that either surprised you or amazed you, or you thought, oh, God, if we hadn't done this walk, we would have never known that was there.
Well, for me, it was the Bodmin and Wenford steam railway.
Yes.
I had no idea there was a steam railway, so close to where we lived, and getting to go out on that and see it all was a fantastic experience for us, and I'm sure it would be for anyone. Because
this doesn't actually, as you say, quite rightly, include only First Great Western branch lines. This actually includes the Bodmin and Wenford steam railway as well. What about you, Katie? What was your
mine
gem?
Was on the Bodmin line. I really liked Lanhydrock.
Lanhydrock, yeah.
And the gardens were really pretty, and we went and it was quite a wintry day, so it looked really, really picturesque. And it was,
But you're right. You go on these walks and you think, if I hadn't come down this road, or if I hadn't got along there, I've never ever have known that. And this is a great way of getting people out and about. And the good thing about it is that it's pretty green, isn't it? Because you don't need a car. Was that a factor in it when you started thinking about this?
Yeah, I mean, being a social enterprise, we're all about giving back. But these sort of ethoses within our company are, promoting public transport, getting families together and encouraging these rural communities. It all sort of came together as a nice package, which we really enjoy promoting.
Right, let's talk in a moment about what is happening now, as well as producing more books, because as you say, this is all about social enterprise. So clearly, having sold these, you've made some cash, and now we're obviously in a position to start thinking about what you do with that cash. So let's do that in just a moment. BBC Radio Devon, 2:27 with Ed Goodridge through until 3. Shep and Joe here from 3 till 7 with the news at 5 and 6 from Lisa Hay. To come after 2:30 this afternoon, Barry Hopper is going to be in talking about his way of raising money for St Luke's Hospice. He's walking up Kilimanjaro, a sponsored walk up Kilimanjaro. He's done all sorts of other stuff as well, so he'll be talking to us about that. But Harry and Katie from Plymouth College are here talking about their RailTrails book, which they started writing as a young enterprise project at school last year when they were in the lower sixth. They've now produced 2 books, I think, and another one on the way. But the idea of this is to do something positive with the money, Katie. So what are you hoping to do with it?
Well, we've made profit from the selling of the 2,000 of the Plymouth edition, so we're hoping to reinvest that we've adopted Gunners Lake Station, so we're going to help do it up and make it kind of the gateway to the walks. So we're going to give it a lick of paint and replant the beds that are overgrown, because if you look on our website, which is railtrails.co.uk at the moment, we've got pictures of the current station, which it has graffiti and overgrown plants. So we really just want to give it a facelift and make it something really pleasant when you get off the train to start your walk.
Is this, Harry, going to cost a lot of money to do this, or is it something that's sort of reasonably... Yeah, so what are you going to have to buy, and how much is it all going to cost, you reckon?
We're only just starting the renovation. We've literally just been speaking to Devon and Cornwall Rail Partnership about adopting the station sort of officially. There's a lot to do.
I mean, I've looked at the pictures. As you say, there's a wooden fence with blue graffiti all over it. There are plant pots with plants that are obviously planted 3 or 4 years ago and haven't been watered or whatever it might be. So this is the sort of stuff you're talking about doing.
Yeah, we really just want to completely renovate the station. We want it to look as fabulous as we think it should. It should represent the area that surrounds it, and at the moment it doesn't. So that's what we're really hoping to do. It's going to cost, quite a bit of money because there's a lot of work that needs to be done. But the selling of the books is going really well. If it continues, then it shouldn't be a problem.
And are you going to do this, or you and your group going to do this renovation work?
Yeah, we've got the 6 of us as a group, but we're also trying to set up a volunteering club at school, and then basically every Friday we get to do activities at school. So hopefully we're going to have a group of people who are going to go out to Gunners Lake Station every Friday and just do a bit more work. It's a gradual process. As the money comes in, we can spend it and really make a difference.
Because there will be people who are listening who are saying, hang on a minute, you shouldn't, children shouldn't, students shouldn't have to go out there and do up our railway stations for us. We pay enough in rail fares all the flipping time. They should be, the rail company should be doing it. So how do you sort of square that then?
Well, we all know what the economic climate is like at the moment. I'm not going to make excuses for First Great Western.
Or rail track, indeed.
Yeah. But
or Network Rail, should I say?
Yeah.
Network Rail, yeah.
Yeah.
But it needs to be done.
Yes. I mean...
And this is a way of doing it.
It is a way of doing it. I mean, we're not trying to stop here with just Gunners Lake Station. We're going to try and actually franchise RailTrails. So, essentially, put it into schools across the country. Say, look, this is how you set up a RailTrails book. We'll patent it and, trademark, etc. But give kids the opportunity to experience what we've done and, at the same time, do up rural branch lines across the UK. I mean, it's got to be the first way to sustainably renovate and maintain rural branch lines.
So the great thing is here, of course, Katie, is that you're getting the branch lines being used more as a result of the book as well.
And it adds to the experience of the book. The whole experience starts from getting on the train. So once you've got off it, if it's a nice station that you've gone to, you feel already that this is something that you really want to do. And when you return, and if you've missed a train, it's somewhere nice to sit rather than somewhere you don't want to be sat. So it adds to the experience. And if you teach children at our age to respect these things, then hopefully they will throughout. So it will just maintain it the whole way through.
And the idea is that if once you've done up Gunners Lake Station, that the process continues, and that maybe even local people are involved, so they've got a vested interest in this, so that they don't paint graffiti on the fence anymore. No. Okay. Well, look, thank you very much, both of you, for coming in. Right. Fantastic. RailTrails from Track to Trail. There are two of them at the moment, and another one on the way. Great example of what you can do with a young enterprise company at school, which loads and loads of schools do nowadays. But the outcomes that you've talked about, the sort of the legacy of all of this, fantastic. Thank you, both of you, for coming in.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.